Hearing that vehicles in Warzone will see huge improvements for Season 3 with Verdansk. They will not be one-to-one with Warzone 1, but they will continue to improve them over the course of the next year, even after the Season 3 update to match Warzone 1. Supposedly, the biggest reason for why they felt so bad with Warzone 2 is the physics engine they had gone with for IDub 9.
Yeah, that'd be cool, man. I'd like that a lot.
If they're gonna take out balloons, which we don't know 100%, but if they're going to, they really have to make the vehicles better. Yeah. We're live, boys and girls. Welcome to the Dropshot Call of Duty podcast, episode number, I believe this number is correct, 506. My name is Casey, yes, aka Razinon. Today, I'm joined by Tanner.
Sir.
You all right, man?
Yeah, just moving my chair, so I was muting.
That's good.
Muted.
I'll keep that in mind. All right, and today, yeah, we have an episode for you. So, we're getting closer. 2 more weeks until Verdansk launches. And in the meantime,
yeah,
we will keep you abreast on all the changes that have happened, that will happen, and more importantly, and relevantly, I would say, news about, Season 3, Verdansk. And all that we will be getting, or that we think we're going to be getting. So this week, since last week, not much going on. So we're going to cover all of it. We do have some announcements at the end of the show. Stick around for that. But including an exciting Saturday idea. We'll talk about that at the end. But for now, patch notes changes already in effect. So starting off, there hasn't been a patch in the last 9 days.
Oh, wow.
Which is fine. It's to be expected. But yeah, there was a very small multiplayer patch. We're not going to cover it a couple days ago. It was nothing. It was maybe a bug fix or something to the belt fed attachment, which doesn't matter. So that's it. And then nothing for Warzone as well. So with that, we do have some news items to go over. And we are starting off with this. This is a tweet from Call of Duty. We're going home. Verdansk returns to Warzone on April 3rd. So this was tweeted today, this morning. And why is this relevant? Well, maybe we can glean some info from this little art, because along with the tweet was a picture. And it says Call of Duty Warzone on it. So a couple things of note that we want to go over. First one is apparently this helicopter is the same model as the it's been a while, as the original.
I forgot about that one.
Helicopter.
Yeah.
So
it is.
Many people are very excited about this, but a couple things. First of all, we already saw this in the last trailer for Verdansk returning. So this isn't new information. It could be a stronger indicator that we're actually going to be getting the original helicopters back. But a couple things to keep in mind. They've used this helicopter model in art before and then not released the helicopter. I think they did that for Caldera, right?
No, because Caldera had this helicopter. That was Warzone 1. So it was for...
Oh, Warzone 2?
Warzone 2, yep.
Okay.
It was for Warzone 2 when they dropped Urzikstan. After we had a year of horrible choppers, everyone's like, oh, yay, the OG choppers are coming back. And then they didn't bring it back.
Okay. Cool. Not. Yeah, so that's one thing, is that this being here doesn't prove we're going to be getting them back. Yeah. And then also, even if we do get them back, it's possible that this is just like a weapon returning. So we
It's
had
just a skin. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So we had like the intervention, for example, from COD 4, and then we got it again in MW 3. They weren't the same gun. They were named the same and looked similar. That was it. But they weren't the same gun. They didn't do the same damage, handling, all of that, because it's a different game. So even if we do get the OG helicopter back, are we talking about the skin or the functionality? Because I don't care what this helicopter really looks like. I care much more, obviously, about how it handles. And
Yeah.
I think most people do want the handling back, all the characteristics back of the original helicopters, because they were, I think, a lot better than the choppers we have now. So if I recall correctly, the differences are, number one, they were way more nimble. So they would ascend more quickly, descend more quickly, turn way more quickly.
They would turn on a dime. It's like now we have
Inertia.
Yeah, that's what it is basically. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was one thing that, yeah, it was very different. Like the choppers we have now, they handle a lot more. They lumber. They're lumbering. Whereas the choppers back then were zippy. Not necessarily faster, like top speed. I don't really know. They seem comparable. That's not so much what I care about. It's more like the handling, obviously. But then also, to balance that, I think, they did it on accident, but I guess I should say, to balance the new choppers, they made them handle worse, but this is the thing I'm not positive about. They have more health. They can take more damage, like the current choppers, compared to the original ones. The original ones, I felt like you could disable them easily if you like focus fired it. Whereas now, I'm pretty sure helicopters have more health. I'm not positive about that, but I am positive the old helicopters handled a lot better.
Yeah. Hard to say about the health because, I mean, you don't shoot them anymore at all. So
no one flies them. Yeah, that's a good point.
I'm not kidding. Not one time since the release of Warzone 2 have we ever tried to team shoot a helicopter to destroy it. Not one single time have we even attempted that. So I have no clue. I do think the Warzone 2 choppers, though, have a higher top speed, but the handling is just worse.
Interesting.
So,
okay.
So you can get that top speed, but then you're going straight. Once you have to turn, it's not easy to do. So overall, the Warzone 1 helicopters, I thought, felt a lot better. They were more fun to fly around, so you could do some crazier things with them. I was always our chopper pilot in Warzone 1. Then once Warzone 2 came out, we realized they were fucking dog shit, and we kind of just stopped using them.
Yeah. And balloons, so we didn't need them anymore also.
Yeah,
so,
that's true.
Yeah. But again, keep in mind, one of the rumors is balloons might be going away. Mm-hmm. So that is going to make what type of chopper we get, because we're going to get some type, even more relevant, because they're actually going to become chopper stocks going up a lot if balloons are gone. If balloons aren't gone, it doesn't really matter what kind of choppers we get back, honestly, because no one will use them, just like they don't now. Even if we had the original chopper right now, I don't think almost anyone would use them since we have so many balloons. Like, why would I tell you where I'm coming from if I can just land on your head with no audio and no warning?
Yep.
Like, I'm going to do that every time. So this may or may not even matter. But anyway, that was the first thing in this little image. A couple other things, or one other thing I can notice right away. I'm sure there's a lot here. The chopper's the only one we really know of besides this other thing, which is, again, I just want to point this out, snow-capped mountains, which does imply no water. Hopefully. I guess another thing, too, is we're not getting Nakatomi, it looks like. We're getting the original Trump Tower, tallest building in downtown. So that
the one on the right?
Yeah.
That's not Trump Tower, is it?
Is it not? I think it is.
I don't think so. I don't even know what building that is. It has a zip on the outside of it, though.
I'm pretty sure it is. I'm not positive.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure it is. And that's another thing I wanted to point out. We do see a zip line. Yeah. So we are getting some zips. I don't think this should be that surprising, but there were some like leaks, or not leaks, but
yeah, it looks like you are right. I'm looking at some images. That is the original Trump Tower. Yeah, different than I remember it looking. Yeah, that's the same sign on the side of it.
Yeah. So we're getting the original big building back. And yeah, it has a zip on it. So yeah, which shouldn't be that surprising. I think some people were saying like we should have fewer zips than we do now, which I could take or leave. It depends. I don't care how many zips we have so much as I care where we have them. That's my thing. So if we only need one zip on the map, I only care about one. But on Verdansk, we're going to need a lot more than one. And I think we'll get most of the ones we should get. Maybe not all of them, but...
By the way, in that image too, doesn't it almost look like there are two zips? Like, what is that thing just to the right of the front zip? It almost looks like a taller zip on the backside of the building, but if it's on the backside of the building, why would it be up that high showing? That's what confused me.
It could be like an antenna or something.
Yeah, maybe it's just an antenna. Because, yeah, I don't see a possible angle where you would even be able to see that, but who knows? It's not actual, like... It's an art image. It's not actual, like, gameplay, so it's kind of hard to say.
Yeah. And then another thing, too. There's a fire in the building. Now, again...
Yeah, again, you're right.
Same thing from the cinematic trailer. I mean, this doesn't necessarily represent the actual in-game map, but it's not that far-fetched because there have been versions of Verdansk where there was just persistent smoke and fire on the map. Mm-hmm. I think, in fact, at that building, I think Nakatomi had a bunch of fire at some point. I don't remember 100%, but it's possible.
I don't remember that. I remember it having no frames. I don't remember the...
I could be wrong. I don't know. But anyway, we'll see. I don't know. And then go ahead.
Actually, no, because mine's related to the next tweet. Never mind.
Okay. Well, another thing too is sky's pretty clear. I mean, there are like a couple of clouds, but it's pretty clear, and it looks like it's like 2 p.m., which I like. Now, again, this doesn't represent the actual map in-game, but hopefully we get this level of clarity. That would be very nice. I would love a nice, clear skybox. And then other than that, I can't really discern anything else other than looking at like some of these guns. So it looks like Ghost is holding some kind of AK, right? Some kind of AK variant.
That's something. For sure, yeah.
And then
it's a gun. Looks like an SVA, to his left, honestly.
It does, actually, you're right. It does look like an SVA. It looks exactly like an SVA, which is what I said. The guy to his right's got an M4. The guy crouched. Woods behind him's holding a gun. The central guy is also holding, looks like some kind of DMR almost.
No.
Some 308 gun.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I don't know.
It's definitely a gun.
Yeah. And then some other guns. So, anything else standing out to you in this image?
No. But when we go to the next tweet, you can kind of just see the comparison between the two. Charlie Intel tweeted a side-by-side of OG Warzone and Season 3 right now of Warzone. And they basically just went with that same vibe. Like, yeah, the Trump Tower building's on the right-hand side. There are people in the background with their parachutes pulled. There are operators standing in the middle of the screen with their guns. There are a guy on the roof to the left in the Season 3 image. There are guys on the roof to the right. And they're, of course, standing on a helicopter that's on fire.
Yep. So this is the original. And then this is the one we have now. So looking at the original again. No fire in the building in the original.
Yeah. And the other thing too is just the overall art style. So it appears the season 3 battle pass operators will have like an OG Warzone type vibe. So those players that always complain about like wubs and the cat face operator skins and whatnot, they might be a little bit happier, because my guess is the skins this season in the store will be very OG Warzone-esque. So, more of your mill sim. It's not mill sim at all, but that vibe. So
yeah,
a lot of people are real excited about that for some reason, because people hate funny looking skins. Apparently it's the worst thing to happen in Call of Duty for some people. I don't know.
Evidently that is true. Yeah.
It bugs me a lot, but
yeah. Anyway. But interesting stuff. And by the way, now that Call of Duty's tweeting about this and art and stuff, hopefully that's a signal that we're going to start getting a lot more like stuff like this as we get closer.
I mean, we're 2 weeks out, so we should get a lot next week.
Yeah.
I would assume.
A blog post would go bonkers. Sorry.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Yes. Phil M. $3.99 super chat. Pair character exaggeratedly stretching his arm forward to offer a cup of coffee. Based. Thank you for the super chat, Phil. And a nice avatar from you. Appreciate it, brother. And Patios with the 5 Canadian, which is roughly $1 in real money. Handle this, he says. I've got it. Pat and Phil. Thank you, gentlemen. We appreciate the super duper chats. Thank you. All right, moving on. Ghost of Hope, the leaker. He's been like leaking everything, it seems, lately. So I don't know what kind of connect he got, but he tweeted this 5 days ago. Hearing that vehicles in Warzone will see huge improvements for Season 3 with Verdansk. They will not be one-to-one with Warzone 1 per se, spelled wrong, but they will continue to improve them over the course of the next year, even after the Season 3 update to match Warzone 1. Supposedly, the biggest reason for why they felt so bad with Warzone 2 is the physics engine they had gone with for IDub 9, which I guess was the Warzone 2 engine or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he attached a picture of some vehicles. So,
yeah, that'd be cool, man.
Yeah.
We'd like that a lot.
If they're going to take out balloons, which we don't know 100%, but if they're going to, they really have to make the vehicles better. Yeah. And my question reading this is, they're not going to be one-to-one in terms of how they handle with Warzone 1, but they'll continue to improve them over the course of the next year, even after Season 3, to match Warzone 1. Why? If you plan on making them match Warzone 1 performance, why not start with that? I don't understand. It makes no sense to me. So why? And if he's leaking this, ostensibly what that means is some dev told him, yeah, the vehicles are going to be better when Season 3 launches, but we're going to keep making them even better after that so that they're as good as Warzone 1. If that's the plan, why not just go there instantly? I don't understand it. Maybe they're not sure they want to make them quite as good as they used to be. And that's fair enough, because if you made them really good and then nerfed them, people would lose their fucking minds. So this is probably actually the smart thing if that's what they're thinking. But also, why wouldn't you want them to be as strong as they originally were? Because they weren't that strong. If anything, what you would need to do is nerf the Bertha's health from its original health. And make it so I can actually shoot through the window instead of it being an impenetrable force field. That's all they would have to do in terms of nerf, but they wouldn't have to nerf the handling of anything, I don't think. Or like acceleration and all that. So it's kind of a weird tweet, but it's good either way, especially, again, if we're taking out balloons. But What do you think?
I just kind of more take the tweet as like they know the vehicles are bad now and they are going to work on improving them versus they haven't thought about even touching the vehicles for like 2 years now. So I think that's all he's saying is like they're going to get a big update with season 3 and then from there they're going to continue to work on the vehicles because obviously, I mean, they're not going to be perfect on the launch of season 3. Nothing in the game works now and it's been 5 months since it released. I think that's all he's saying is
That
they're
makes
going to
sense. Yeah.
update them and then, you know, they're going to focus on vehicles more maybe. And that would line up with there not being balloons or fewer balloons, whatever. Because, I mean, you need that. Of course, you need good vehicles if you're not going to have balloons. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
I think it makes sense. And then he quote tweeted this like 5 minutes later, and he said, also take this with a grain of salt, but I also heard the OG Bertha might be back with Verdansk. So what that means exactly, I don't know. Again, is it just like the exact skin? Like what are we talking about here? The exact feeling of it, not being able to shoot anybody out of it. I'm not sure what that means.
Well, that could mean, in that case, it actually does make sense. Like the old chopper versus the new one. Actually, those are different too, because it's the number of seats. But that's the same thing with the Bertha. Bertha right now, 2 people can sit in it. The old one, only 1 person could. Everyone else would have to get in the bed of the truck. But now 2 people can sit in it. So maybe he means back to the 1-seater. But I mean, that's the 2-seater is better, but it doesn't, I don't really care as long as it handles like it used to again. Yeah. So that's what I think he would mean.
Improved vehicles in general would be fantastic all around.
Yeah. But again, I can't stress this enough to you guys. The vehicle changes will barely matter if they don't remove balloons. So I'm not super in one camp or the other in terms of balloons. I can play with them and I can play without them. I'd rather they remove them just because it would make it feel a lot different. And we need to spice things up in Warzone. So if that means removing balloons, cool. And there are some other upsides, which we've talked about, so I won't rehash all of it. But that's the only way like any of this matters. Because if we have as many balloons as we have now, and we have portable balloons as well, no one's going to use vehicles still. Just like we don't now. Because like most of the vehicles we have now are pretty dog shit. But not all of them. Like the Polaris Razor, you're very exposed, but that thing is good. It goes fast, it handles well. That's like a good vehicle. So, and no one uses it because we have balloons. So that would be the same case, I think, if we kept balloons and got improved vehicles. But either way, we would want improved vehicles. So overall, a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
So moving on from there, Charles Intelligence. This is interesting. He tweeted this yesterday. The Los Angeles Rams, which is a sports team.
Big
Football.
Sports team, yeah.
Yeah.
I believe they're in Los
team.
Angeles, yeah.
Formerly the St. Louis Rams, by the way. I'm a football expert. Players visited Treyarch yesterday.
Wait, what?
For a sneak peek. What? The Rams were
Formerly
St.
the
Louis,
what?
I'm pretty sure.
No.
Weren't they?
Isn't it no, it was the Chargers, right?
No, hold on. I'll look it
The
up.
Chargers don't exist anymore, right, guys? We know we're big sports guys. I can.
Yeah, no,
with
it is St. Louis. The St. Louis Rams were a professional American football team.
Okay, when in like 1940?
No, in our lifetimes. 2015.
Okay, but I'm talking about
until 2015. They were St. Louis. I don't know what you're thinking of, but it's.
So they moved them from St. Louis to LA, is what you're saying?
Yes. Yeah. That's
Okay,
correct.
Whatever. Football's not good. I know that. So.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, I'll be gaslit, sure. Big sip.
Giant sip, huh? Giant gulp.
Yeah. Okay. So the Los Angeles Rams players visited Treyarch yesterday for a quote sneak peek. So they visited Treyarch on the 18th. It's not clear if this was for a Season 3 preview or a future Call of Duty thing. And attached is an image, and it looks like a screenshot of an Instagram story by Treyarch, captioned, "Big shout out to the Rams for stopping by for a sneak peek." And then there are a bunch of what looks to be professional football players. They look kind of short to be professional football players, by the way. Am I crazy? Maybe it's just because it's only NFL players, so they're all, the shortest guy here is like 6'2". Maybe
that's what I'm thinking.
Sense of scale is thrown off.
That's kind of what it. Yeah. Plus, the guy in the middle wearing the sweatpants, his sweatpants are pulled up like 2 inches below his nipples, so I think it makes him look a little shorter than he probably is.
Yeah.
He's got them. He got them suckers up there.
I'm a fan. That based of him to take sweatpants and slippers, by the way, to Treyarch Studios. I'd bring something else, but
so there are 2 NFL teams in LA. That's what I'm thinking. So the Chargers moved to LA, so there are 2 teams.
Tanner,
that is crazy.
Why?
It's just crazy because I live here and I don't even know this shit because I don't follow football.
Well, like the Clippers and Lakers.
I just
are both
knew
LA.
that the Chargers. I know that, yeah. But I thought the Chargers moved and then they turned to the Rams. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. Because I knew the Chargers don't exist anymore. It just blow my mind that there are 2 teams.
Yeah, they're sharing. I don't know if they're sharing.
Football guy.
LA is a big city, I guess.
I think they probably share. I don't know. SoFi.
The Clippers and Lakers did. They shared Staples Center.
Yeah, do they still share?
I don't know. I think they renamed Staples Center, but they share it still. Yeah. That's my guess.
Yeah, Crypto Arena.
Yep. So, anyway. Okay, so it is not clear if this is for a Season 3 preview or future Call of Duty thing. That's the interesting question here. If I had to guess, this is not for a future Call of Duty thing. This is for Season 3. It's a little early for anyone to be getting a preview of the next Call of Duty thing, which could only be COD 2025, right? Which is in 8 months. That's not ready for anyone to come out and play it.
No, fuck no, right? No way.
Yeah. So I don't know what the confusion is. This has to be for Season 3. The only other option maybe is that it's for Season 4 or 5, but like I don't believe that either. That seems very unlikely.
Yeah, what would be the point of that? So it seems to me it's got to be something to do with Season 3, Verdansk maybe, but you know, why are they going to the Treyarch studio if it's Warzone? Like obviously they're in LA, so it's right there, but isn't kind of Raven the head of Warzone? Like usually when people play test for Warzone, they go to the Raven studio, but that's like COD partners and whatnot, so I don't know. Maybe they were just showing them random things, maybe like the new zombies stuff in Season 3. It's different. Maybe they were just that bored, they just decided to.
Well, yeah, here's the other thing. Why did they do this? Studio. What is the advantage of having football players come out if they're not allowed to talk about what they played? Because they've done this before, but then they make it like a big thing. And the football players like, oh, I just played Warzone Verdansk, #COD partner, and they got paid $10,000. But if that's not happening here, maybe it's going to be happening soon, I guess. I don't know. It's weird. But anyway, I think this is a Season 3 thing. I imagine they played Verdansk. That would be my guess. And they're going to start doing Instagram stories on their personal accounts about how fun Verdansk was or whatever. That's my guess. I find anything else very unlikely.
Yeah, the other time they did athletes getting a sneak peek, that was, I believe, before like the beta of one of the games. Because I remember there was it was almost like somebody in chat probably remembers, but it was almost like the NFL draft thing. They had like some sort of little setup there, and the guys getting drafted into the NFL like were playing the beta early or something like that. Because remember, one of them like tweeted a image of the lobby menu, and that was like the first leak we had seen of that game. I don't remember what title that was, if that was MW3. I don't know. NFL draft prospects. Yeah. So this has happened before, but obviously at this time it's got to just be Verdansk, right? Nothing else it could be.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
That's very much what I'm thinking.
So.
Because if it's not the next big Call of Duty game and it's not Season 3, what else could it be?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't even think of anything. So, but you're right. Why Treyarch? So here's another thing I will say. If it comes out, which it will at some point, what they got a sneak peek of, that is going to tell us what Treyarch has a lot of control over. Therefore, if it is the case that they in fact were playing Warzone during this sneak peek, and Treyarch were the ones hosting them, then we know Treyarch is deeply involved in Warzone, for example. Now, if any of you have played Warzone this year, that would not be very surprising to you. It's an integration on a Treyarch game this year, and I die behind walls constantly, which is a Treyarch exclusive problem. So it would make sense if this were Warzone, because Treyarch's meddling in Warzone is very apparent. So that's my guess. And I'm curious to see what more comes out of this, or what more info comes out of this.
Yeah. Oh, I haven't even thought about that yet. Dying around all the corners in Verdansk. I'm excited for that.
With Omni movement. Yeah, imagine dying far around a corner in Verdansk with Omni movement.
Because we had Treyarch before in Warzone during the Cold War era, but that's not how it worked back then. They did not. I mean, that was Infinity Ward's game, and then they put in Treyarch's guns from Cold War. So it's going to be the first time we're getting Verdansk dying around corners. Yeah, I'm excited for that. Real excited.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
The horrific hit, Reg. Ooh, I can't wait.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll happen.
Nice, man.
So yeah, we'll see what comes out of that. And then another tweet from Charles Intelligence in February.
Which one is that?
Okay.
Let's get into this first, because then this is the last.
Oh, did I miss something?
That.
Okay.
No, I just added it in there. Charlie Intel just tweeted it. 4 more Warzone cheat providers have been shut down this week, including GC Amex, Suave, Rico Suave, ZZ's, and Moneyman. Have not heard of a single one of those.
Yes, I haven't either. So
making that push before Season 3, man.
I mean, look, if it's working, based, I will say this, actually, surprisingly, in the last 3 weeks, I have not seen that many obvious cheaters at all. I've seen a bunch of sweaty kids, but I haven't seen that many obvious cheaters. Now, let me be super clear. Just because I don't notice them doesn't mean they're not there. Keep that in mind. However, usually, if there are lots of cheaters, you'll notice some of them, and then it'll be obvious that there are lots of, that there's like a really bad rash of cheaters at the time. Not noticing many right now. And I wonder if that's because of the Phantom Overlay thing. Because I think they were a big cheat provider, unlike these people. So, like I had said like a month ago, the only effective anti-cheat I have faith Activision might be able to do something for is going this route, the legal route, of just attacking the corporations to make them stop cheating. And great. If it's working, fantastic. Because your kernel level anti-cheat fucking sucks and won't work. So use your considerable legal team instead as an anti-cheat. That's fine. I don't care as long as no one's cheating in my lobbies. And to be very fair, yeah, I have not seen many in sweaty fucking lobbies too, where you would see cheaters. So they could be like suddenly hiding it very well, or there just aren't that many cheaters in Warzone right now. Let me also add, I've been playing pubs, not ranked. If I were playing ranked, I'm absolutely sure I'd be seeing a lot more of them. But even in just pubs, there have been times during since the integration, I've seen fucking way more cheaters than I'm seeing right now. So it is better, almost certainly, which is good. And maybe that's because of the Phantom Overlay thing. And if they keep shutting people down, great. And the timing is not a coincidence. I think you're right. They're getting this all done, or as much as they can, before Verdansk, because they know, as we've talked about a lot, this is the last hurrah. This is going to be the last big promotional thing they can possibly do. Nothing will ever be as hype as the Verdansk re-release in Warzone, for them. Ever. Yeah. It's LM last map. Yeah. This is their, like, this is sudden death, round 7 of COD finals, COD champs. I know if that's possible. The analogy's fallen apart. But anyway, this is good.
That's possible, yeah.
Yes. Shutting down cheap providers is good. Yeah.
Let's start storming their homes.
Of the cheap providers?
Their whole family. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. Yeah, put some cheater CEOs in that black book, Robert Kotick.
Strap a satchel on the side of the building, put a 30-second fuse on it. I've been playing Hell Let Loose. Blow the whole place up, yeah.
Got it.
That's the strat.
I've received that. Anyway. Moving on from that, we have one last tweet here.
Oh, yeah.
Not the best news. In February, in the United States, Call of Duty was the second most played game on PS5 and the number 1 most played game on Xbox. BO6, however, has now fallen to the number 4 best-selling game of the year in the United States. So, that seems crazy to me. Because
the game sucks a lot.
Reporting period. Okay. Wait, what? Oh, of this year. The best-selling game of this year.
The best-selling game of 2025.
Okay. That's not as surprising, actually. So this seems to be on par for normal stuff.
Standard stuff.
Yeah.
Again, I mean, console video games don't exist, so you're playing Fortnite, Call of Duty, or sports games. So that's why no matter how bad COD is, it'll still always be in the top there. They don't have options. So, I mean, look at these games on PlayStation Top 10. Fortnite, a game that came out in 2018 now? I mean, older than that even. COD,
I was going to say, I think older
GTA
than that,
5,
still.
a 15-year-old game.
Yeah.
Roblox, okay. Marvel Rivals, NBA, Madden, EA Sports College Football, Minecraft. I mean, video games don't exist for consoles. That's what you have to understand.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So that does make sense that they're always going to be the highest in there. If COD is truly dead if it ever gets to the point where they're outside of the top 10 on console, because there are 12 console games made. So at that point, you're the worst.
Yeah.
The worst there is. So
yeah.
Interesting stuff.
Yes.
What's outselling it this year? Monster Hunter Wilds. I know what that is.
Yeah, I have no idea either.
Kingdom Come Deliverance. Oh, that's that one game everyone was hyping up where it's like first-person medieval, right? It looked fun for like 4 minutes maybe.
Yeah, where you play as like Henry or something.
7. Civ 7. When did that come out? Are you a Civ guy, aren't you?
No, I like that genre, but I don't like Civ specifically. And Civ 7 is not good, I've heard.
Oh my god. Yeah,
everything I've seen is not good about it.
Why do you not like this? Is this the one that's too easy?
No, you're thinking of
Mocap would talk about.
No, this is it's a 4X game. I don't know. I don't like it for reasons that'll bore you and everyone else. So anyway, some other things, however, that are less or more surprising, well, more variable, more changed than in the past.
Yeah.
You have pulled the Steam numbers again.
We've done a Steam number poll. I've done it. Last 30 days, average 45,000. Wow.
Terrible.
45,000 average on Steam, peak 80,000. So they're continuing to bleed there by a lot. I mean, we already hit record lows in February, and since then, they've lost another almost 20% more players.
Yeah.
Since the record lows. So
Yep.
Lowest average player count and lowest peak players since the tracking began in 2022. That's where we're at on Steam.
Bad stuff.
Previous lows, it was an average of 55,000, and that was in September of 2023. So 55,000 was the previous low. We're now down to 45,000. And 86,000 peak was the previous low in July of 2023. So 86,000 peak players at one time in 1 month. That was at 86,000 peak right now. The last 30 days, the highest is 80,000. So both of those record lows on Steam out there.
Yeah.
So it's not a good game. That's the thing.
So,
but yeah, I mean, we can, well, people talk about the console numbers a lot. So it's still number one on console. But really, it's like, I understand. I'm not saying the game's dead. You can't argue, though, that they've lost a substantial amount of the player base.
Correct. Yeah.
But I just look at the games. They're going up against sports games. There's nothing else that exists for consoles. There's 1% of the amount of video games on a console as there is on PC.
And yeah, exactly. And more people now play on PC than consoles. Especially the Call of Duty audience. Because, like, who are Call of Duty players? I would say 14 to like 30 is the average Call of Duty player. So a lot of these people are like young adults who can afford their own whatever. They're buying their own console or computer. A lot more of them, I wouldn't say the majority necessarily, but a lot more of them than ever before are playing on PC. So yeah, like, what are you competing with on a console? Not too much. The Steam numbers, I think, tell a lot more complete of a picture, though not a totally complete one.
Yeah.
And that's pretty fucking bad stuff.
Because, yeah, I mean, that's the interesting. It's like Jakin says in chat, as it should be, don't play COD on Steam. What you are trying to ignore, though, is we started with 165,000 average in November. So we've gone from 165,000 to 45,000. A lot of people still bought, owned, and played on Steam. It's not like these people are just swapping what they're playing the game on. The player numbers are just bleeding. So it's like from 165 average down to 45. Compared to MW3 last year, we went from 103 average to like 85 at the end of the game's life cycle. 65, sorry. So we dropped from 100,000 to 65 average. This year we've dropped from 165,000 average to 45. The game sucks, obviously.
Yeah. There are a lot of reasons for this. So one of them is because Verdansk is coming soon. Everyone knows it. So a lot of people who have been playing a lot even are like, yeah, I'm just going to take a break till Verdansk comes out. A reason they're doing that, besides just waiting for Verdansk, is the game is extremely stale right now because they said they were spending pretty much all of season 2 on cheaters and on polish. So fixing the bugs, whatever. They still have a lot of work to do. They've done almost none of that, by the way. Besides day 1 of season 2, or week 1, I should say. So the game is super stale. People know Verdansk is coming. And as the pool of people gets smaller, it's kind of a negative or a positive feedback loop where it's like, the fewer people there are, the sweatier your lobbies are going to be. And then the sweatier your lobbies get, the more people leave. The fewer people there are, the even sweatier your lobbies get. And it's just a vicious cycle. So like everyone left playing. We used to get shit lobbies sometimes, like 2 weeks ago. We don't get them anymore. There aren't shit lobbies anymore. They just don't exist. Like more and more people are leaving, and only the most brain dead hardcore players like myself are still around. And it's just like, and now Cope is on his way out. So Cope will also be a lost number. He doesn't play on Steam, but if he did, he would also be a lost number for exactly this reason. The lobbies are just too sweaty. Another reason is all of the cheaters. Again, To be clear, haven't seen that many in pubs, but like if you're a ranked player, probably seeing lots of them, so you'd leave. So like, and yeah, it's a buggy mess. That's the most obvious thing. So, and another reason, not only is the game stale because we've gotten nothing with season 2, but also because we're on the same fucking 5 out of 10 bog standard mid-ass map.
Yep.
For like
AI map.
For like 16 months now or something.
Shout out Ramin.
So there is so much working against Warzone right now. It is not even fucking remotely a surprise that the player count is bleeding. It will get worse, by the way, before Verdansk launches. On like April 1st, maybe a little before that, I think we're going to reach our lowest last 30 days average players. Actually, no, yeah, on like April 2nd. I think it's going to be the lowest we've ever seen, including right now. More people will leave Steam. And, well, excuse me. More
people at that point will be getting excited.
Platforms. So.
Yeah, I think now we're at about the lowest we'll see. Now till about the end of next week, yeah. Because people
I
will
just mean
maybe
the last
start
30
playing.
days number.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Then I agree.
Yeah.
100%. Yep.
Yeah. I went through the same. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right.
So that's pretty crazy. And then the question is, what are we going to see when Verdansk launches? And that all hinges, this all comes back to what we've been talking about for weeks now. How well do they do the Verdansk launch?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, I saw something, I think in our Discord. Ghost of Hope tweeted like Verdansk tokens or something, or some other legal guy. What is that? Was that Ghost of Hope?
We had already talked about that on one of the other episodes. There wasn't much info about it. Yes, there's just something, because there was no info. There was just something in the files that was called Verdansk tokens, and we showed the image. And that was kind of it. They really didn't know what they were for. There were some rumors, maybe people were thinking like it's to unlock stuff. Maybe it was some sort of event. But this person was saying they thought it was going to be a community event, basically, where as the community gets X amount of tokens, it starts changing the map. But it's not going to be that. That doesn't make any sense.
Yes. Okay.
Because they're not just going to do a random map change like in the middle of a week. So, I mean, nothing like that's going to happen. But there's something called a Verdansk token in the files.
Okay.
An image of VT. So.
Got it. Yeah. Okay. Then yeah, I guess we'll see.
Maybe even something to do with the store. Like the more you play, you just get tokens, and almost like you can use those tokens towards OG operators that are in the store, and instead of buying them with real money, you use Verdansk tokens. I mean, it could be numerous things.
It could be lots of things. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, then we did cover it then. Good. Okay. Because that'll be interesting too. But yeah, it's like this, these player counts, it's all going to hinge on Verdansk. And the big fear, the massive fear, is that it's a buggy mess and people give up on it before it's fixed. Because what I think will happen is Verdansk is going to launch. I think honestly now it's going to be more polished than I'm expecting. Well, by definition, that can't be true. It's going to be more polished than I was expecting it would have been like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be polished enough, I don't think, still, to keep people around. And that's almost certainly true. Like, the launch is not going to be perfect. The important question is, how quickly can they fix those things that they break on day one? Because if they can fix them within a day or two, which they've done before, by the way, in the last 5 years, they've done that before. Not for a new map, I don't think, to be clear, but for like a big new season update, it's like a real mess. And then the next day, half of those bugs are already fixed. They've done it before. If they can do that again, this might have a shot at like holding people's attention for a while. If they don't, though, it's chalked. Like, it's chalked. So many people are going to come back and they're not going to have the most patience. They'll maybe try it the first week. And if it's still shit, they're done. So I'm very worried. They need to have all their devs like working overtime, literally on the 3rd and that whole week, 12-hour days for everyone. Like, actually pay them overtime. It would be worth it. They're going to need to.
Yeah. I hope we don't get one of those big issues that we've seen before on generally title releases, where like console players can't play the game or something, because that
true
Verdansk is DOA at that point if there are any sort of day 1, day 2, weekend 1 console issues where people are crashing, their textures aren't loading, they're having performance problems, anything like that, and your update is immediately chalked, unfortunately.
Yes, I agree. You know, honestly, I don't know how much this would matter. It probably wouldn't. I'll say it anyway since I baited you guys, but I wonder if it would be smart of them to do a rolling launch. So like 8 a.m. PlayStation gets it, and then like 9 a.m. Xbox also, and then like 10 a.m. PC or something. That probably doesn't matter. The server stability is not the biggest issue. It's going to be the bugs. So I guess that doesn't matter at all, actually.
Yeah.
And I hope that helps.
Yeah, kill yourself.
Yeah, I will do that. So, and then other than that, that's pretty much it. So, I mean...
Oh, that's absolutely it, yeah.
Verdansk waiting room. And that's what I always say. So, before we go, we do have some announcements. So, keep in mind, guys, episodes are going to be getting a lot longer. We're going to have a lot more to talk about once we actually get season 3.
We're almost saved.
Probably even within the week. Like by next week, I think we're going to be back to having lots of shit to talk about and get into and analyze. Because hopefully, if we follow the formula we've been having for 2 years now, we're going to get a blog post on season 3 a week before. So that would be episode 508. Our next Thursday ep. There will be a fuck ton to talk about. But until then, yeah, we're still in a holding pattern, as they say, in the United States Air Force, which I, of course, was a part of.
Really?
Yeah, I'm an airman. So. Yeah. Yeah, I have
be a seaman here soon, huh?
I have a decorated I love seamen. So anyway, before we go, yeah, some announcements. First and foremost, welcome Austin D. Austin D. German, our newest Platinum patron. Austin, thank you very much, King. Welcome. Join the Discord and link it and get those questions in there. And thank you, Austin. Patreon.com/thedropshot. Our last Patreon bonus ep, by the way, was a Jake Down breakdown that Tanner forgot about, but we did it. And it was good. It was very well received, and it was for all of our patrons.
Didn't we already have an episode and talk about that before? That's why I didn't put it in here.
No, that was our bonus episode this month, the one we've recorded.
I know, but I'm saying, didn't we already say that we've recorded this and done it?
Oh.
We recorded this last week.
You said we have 3 eps left to record. Maybe you were including behind the scenes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I
see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I
anyway,
understand.
Whatever. Yeah, we might have talked about this already, but yeah, our latest Patreon episode for all of our patrons, Jake Down Breakdown, is good. If you want to learn how to play better, go watch it. And then we have 2 more eps to record for all of our patrons. What they will be, not totally sure. You guys did like the gameplay breakdown a lot, so maybe we'll do something like that again as a bonus episode. One of our bonus episodes that we're going to record very end of the month after the blog post is going to be a pre-Verdansk brainstorm. What you should use, what you should do, what you should get ready for. That's going to be entirely contingent, obviously, on what is in the blog post. So, like, That's why we're waiting to record the episode. We don't know what we're getting with season 3, but once we do, we're going to do a bonus ep talking about what to expect. We actually might even do that for a Saturday episode instead. We'll see. But that is going to be really fun and exciting, and I'm very excited to do that. And then this Saturday, which will be our last episode before the blog post, the guy Jake Down, whose video we broke down, suggested he be on and do a Jake Down's breakdown of my bitch ass. So that's what we're gonna do, because what the fuck else are we gonna talk about on Saturday?
Yeah.
So I'll probably go live tomorrow, maybe right now, play some games, get some footage, and then Jake will be joining us, me and Tanner, to do a little live breakdown of it. So I'm not going to be live playing the game. I will have played the game, but we'll break it down live.
Yeah.
And that should be interesting and funny. Because I'm not as good, but I'm also better than average. So I think it's going to be interesting watching my gameplay after having watched the Jake Down breakdown, because it looked easy when he was doing it, but then you'll see me and everything's a struggle. Everything is clawing tooth and nail to eke out a kill with 1 HP. It's going to be funny. So I'm excited.
Yeah. Should be interesting.
So yeah, it should be cool. Videos encouraged for that one. So be here live and you can watch it while we do it, or watch the YouTube video rather than listening. We will, as always, try to make it palatable for audio only. But it will be best viewed. So sorry to our many blind listeners who play Call of Duty. Anyway, yeah, we'll see you guys on Saturday. Last but certainly not least, we got a dono from a friend of the pod who said this: happy belated 500. Insane stuff. I guess this just didn't work for him at some point on episode 500. So I don't know. 5 years of listening to you both, aged 20 to 25. It's crazy. Y'all fried my frontal lobe. Thanks, Based. COD fried your frontal lobe, but anyway. COD sucks, but you guys always make for great entertainment on my travels. Here's to another 500, gentlemen. Tanner 37 Clink, which is a throwback emote.
Yeah. And
that was 35 United States dollars from our longest running patron ever, who's not active enough in Discord. Big friend of the pod. Very long time. One of the longest time listeners we have. Definitely the longest running patron ever.
Got to be in the top 5.
Yeah. That's still around. Yeah, for sure. So Ozzy, thank you very much. Appreciate it, brother. You got to come back for Verdansk, by the way. And get Pritch too. Drag Pritch along.
Pritchy boy.
Get the... Oh, they were also the first Dropshot hangouters, IRL. I think. Not sure.
IRL hangouters. Yes, they were. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, Ozzy's broken a lot of ground. And he's donated to us, which we appreciate. Ozzy, love you. Thank you, brother, as always. And that's fucking it. So, we'll see you guys Saturday. Activision devs do not play their own game.
Fuck no, they don't.